A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it is June 19th, 1865, in Galveston, Texas. General Orders Number 3. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts, and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere, by order of Major General Granger, F.W. Emory, Major Assistant Adjutant General. This episode, covering Miss Juneteenth, is going to include discussions of systemic racism, colorism, and just an honest discussion of American history. And if that's not your cup of tea, well, number one, go dump it out in my harbor. Number two, this just might not be the podcast for you. But regardless, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views expressed therein are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of their employers. Hello there, and welcome back to 6 Degrees of Star Wars, the podcast where we explore all the ways George Lucas's flagship franchise surrounds us, binds us, and penetrates us in the landscape of cinema. I'm your host, Sam Marchioni. Joining me today, Shamila Karanakran.
Vindication for the woman phenomenally Nicole Beharie.
Ellie McConaughey.
Well, I'm unfortunately aware of far too many mothers who will in fact smack you in the face and then whine, "Was I a good mother?"
And Jasmine Garcia.
Nicole Beharie will always be famous.
Yeah, so the Chance Cube honestly kind of reflected what I was feeling at this point and said, fuck 4th of July, we're gonna do more Juneteenth stuff. We technically did our Juneteenth episode by covering Blazing Saddles, but we're doing Miss Juneteenth, a degree 5, thanks to Ryan Cole, Emily Rice, and David Lowery. And fun story, last time I saw this movie, I was the only person in a movie theater watching it on Juneteenth, 2021.
Whoa.
Oof.
That must have been quite something. Where do I know Nicole from?
42.
42, or if you watched Sleepy Hollow, she was
Yeah,
Abby, and then she
that's-
got absolutely fucked over.
I have not seen... she was in... I'm looking at her Wikipedia page. I haven't watched that. That's like one random episode of Bones. That
She
doesn't
used
count.
to be Michael Fassbender's girlfriend, and she was in Shame with him.
That is
and
true.
they
She was
had a
also
scene
in
where they
American
fucked.
Violet. I knew her first from that.
Shame is good. She was in one of the more interesting episodes of Black Mirror.
Striking Vipers. We know the bit.
I'm not saying nothing about that episode, because that episode's, it's a lot.
Anyway, Ellie, the reason why you don't see more of her on that is because of Sleepy Hollow. Because the creators of that show were mad that most of the fan base was not there for Ichabod Crane, but were there for Abigail Mills.
And also, she developed an autoimmune disease while filming, and how dare you ask for any kind of medical accommodations, you completely unreasonable harpy!
Yep. And she got completely blacklisted after she was fired from Sleepy Hollow.
I'm just aware that Sleepy Hollow had a crossover with Bones because...
Yes. I keep on telling you when you forget.
because Jasmine told me, and that seems like an insane thing to happen. So, I'm cursed with the burden of knowledge. And now you are too, listener. Enjoy.
Yeah, but they basically blacklisted her.
Yeah, so, fuck the people who made Sleepy Hollow, and Nicole Beharie deserved better. I was watching some of this, I'm like, why wasn't she in the Oscar conversation for 2021? But I also can't remember what was in the Oscar 2021 conversation.
Ellie.
So, this was a 2020 film, hypothetically.
Yep.
2020 was a weird fucking year at the Oscars.
Really? What happened?
There was just some stuff happening, and a lot of stuff that should have been nominated just wasn't because the Oscars didn't really handle the transition very well. I am forever salty that we didn't get a nomination for got Jesse Buckley for I'm Thinking of Ending Things. But it wasn't. There were some good movies nominated. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was nominated. We've got Promising Young Woman in there, which is a film. Nomadland. It was the big Nomadland was the big movie that year. Take that as you will. I don't really like Nomadland. I don't know if that's like a hot take. The afterlife of that movie's been pretty weird, but I didn't really vibe with it.
I don't know enough about it to agree or disagree with you.
But at least Nicole Beharie did win some sort of award for Miss Juneteenth. She won the Gotham Award for Best Actress.
And got an Independent Spirit Awards nomination. And there's, like, been jokes that the Independent Spirit Awards are, like, for the films that do get praise but don't get money. Or something like that. Independent film is dying, and that is bad and makes me sad.
Like, is it though? Because Obsession has made like $1 bajillion with like a $1 million budget.
Well, that's sort of like one of the central issues we're having with the film industry right now, which is that right now film budgets have sort of branched off into two paths. On the one hand, we have stuff like Skinamarink or We're All Going to the World's Fair or Obsession, or like I Saw the TV Glow, $5 million or under budget, dedicated fan base because it's really good because the director knows what they're doing, but like no budget at all. And then on the other hand, we've got $200 million plus budgets. And the sort of mid-budget where this movie basically is, the $20 to $50 million budget movie, they're just dying. They're just dying on their feet because no one knows how to market them anymore.
And also, like, even the examples that you gave as, like, the independent films that are doing well, most of those are horror. Most of those have, like, some kind of a gimmick that
this is true
really sticks out. And there's some really interesting stuff in this movie, but there's not, like, an iconic thing,
No, I think the most quote unquote gimmicky thing is like this was released on video on demand on Juneteenth 2020, which was also the 155th anniversary of Juneteenth.
And we were all stuck inside, so nobody wanted to go and watch it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not a very showy movie overall, which I don't think... when I think about mid-budget movies that have, like, made impacts nowadays, the big one recently was Conclave, which I think everyone here has seen, yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, love it.
That movie isn't showy in the way that, like, a blockbuster is showy, but it's a movie with an idea, with an express gimmick, like, hey, let's watch these guys lock themselves in a room and talk for 2 hours. Whereas this movie, it's kind of like... It's a little bit slave history. There's a little bit of Little Miss Sunshine in there. There's a lot of like life on the edges of society in there, and it kind of adds up to like a movie that's good, but doesn't really have anything that really like grabs you and yanks you.
It's not like the big generational trauma movies that had magical panda powers or multiverse hopping or magical house and like Lin-Manuel Miranda and stuff.
There is some generational trauma here, but it's more subtle.
It's real world generational trauma, basically. It doesn't bother with the metaphor. It's just like, no, this is just what it is.
But like that's sort of like where the complexity comes in, because a lot of movies that are talking about generational trauma and racism put it through the metaphor to get people into it. If you took Everything Everywhere All at Once and stripped it down to what it is at its essentials, a woman having an extended argument with her suicidal daughter in the middle of her own mental breakdown, I don't think it would have made $50 million and had all the awards. And that's kind of like a shame, but it's kind of where we're at. People don't like watching downer movies right now, which bums me out.
Or at least not downer movies that don't have some kind of gimmick. Again, Obsession.
Yeah. You have to get them into if Obsession was just about a guy manipulating his girlfriend and her having a breakdown about it, it probably wouldn't be the metaphor gets people in the door.
Isn't that technically Fatal Attraction?
Yeah, but that's kind of the point, I think.
Yeah, back in those days, you had a market for mid-budget, maybe lightly, gimmicky, but mostly just like dialogue-driven movies for adults. This is very much, despite the fact that one of the main two characters is a teenager, this is very much a movie for adults. I can't imagine anyone the age of Kai actually enjoying this movie. Think this is getting shown in high school classrooms right now?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Right now, in the year of our hellscape, 2026?
It wouldn't have surprised me in a time when the education system wasn't being attacked even more so than usual.
I mean, do they even teach about Juneteenth in, like, American high schools?
They did not teach about it in my high school, but I do remember vividly in my high school, not in my history class, but in my English class. I think it was around the time we were reading something by Mark Twain, but my teacher gave us all permission slips, we got them all signed, and then we watched Spike Lee's Bamboozled.
Ah.
Ha.
Could you, like, contact that teacher and tell him that I love him?
Fuck, what was that teacher's name? Who was my junior year English teacher for American literature?
I'm not gonna lie to all of y'all. I may have come around to the conclusion that I think Bamboozled is like a top 3 Spike Lee movie. Do with me what you will. I think it really works. Leave me alone.
Listen, I have not watched it. I cannot judge. I only know it from hearsay.
Okay, I guess it's going on the list then.
Moving on to this here movie, though. So, for the listeners at home that have not watched this is basically about a former beauty pageant winner, specifically for a Miss Juneteenth beauty pageant. I don't know if this is a real thing in Fort Worth, Texas.
It is a real thing. It's a real thing.
I love that. So yeah, obviously all young Black girls, and they get to win a scholarship to the historically Black institute of their choice. And our lead, Turquoise, played by Nicole Beharie, did win it, but due to what it seems like an early pregnancy, she was not really able to reach the potential that she had hoped winning the pageant would have given her. And now she's trying to have her daughter to kind of live vicariously through her, but also to help her daughter have better than she does, because now she is indeed literally a single mom who works 2 jobs, loves her kid, and never stops.
It is also a smidge classic sports movie. You're giving up your dream. No, I'm giving up yours.
And to her daughter's credit, Kai, her daughter's name is Kai, and to her credit, even though she clearly wants to tell her that, she never actually does.
She lets Mama come to that on her own.
It's one of those things where, like, you know, I'm sitting here from the outside watching Turquoise basically, like, obliterate her life on this thing. And, like, I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm like, okay, she's not gonna make it, is she? Like, I this is my first time watching this movie, full disclosure, but I was like, I feel like by the time you get to the 3rd act, I'm sitting there going, like, I can't imagine this movie is going to be unrealistic enough to have Kai win. Which, spoiler alert for everyone who's listening, she doesn't. Which is, I think that was a good choice, but it does make me feel real bad about all the shit Turquoise went through for it. When Kai didn't particularly want it, and it didn't actually matter. Sorry.
Yeah, but this is also, it's not like Dumpling or Whippet. Like, there are real stakes for Kai not winning the Miss Juneteenth pageant, because if she loses, there's no scholarship money, and that's one less avenue for Kai to survive as a poor Black girl in Texas. Like, you see that scene with Turquoise counting and recording every cent just to give Kai more opportunities, because no one else is going to give them any opportunities. And it still ends with, like, Kai having to wear Turquoise's old pageant dress because the money didn't come through.
Because fucking Ronnie, but we'll get to that. And also, it really is kind of just the perfect example of, yes, obviously parents do everything for us, at least the good ones do, but at some point, they need to recognize that this is their child's own life, and they need to forge their own path. At least, again, the good ones do that.
It does take Turquoise, and I'm not saying this is a criticism of the film, it does take Turquoise an amount of time that can only be described as distressing to realize how much she's like, how much this is not working for Kai. You know what I mean?
How much this is not working for Kai, and how much as try as she might, she did turn out to be like a diet version of her mother, who in one scene is being all
God, her
mother. The mom.
Hypocritical and holier than thou. Next thing she knows, she is sloppy drunk and needing her daughter to take care of her. So
many such cases.
The prayer circle scene was like viscerally almost scary.
It's I put in my notes, prayer circles are, if you step outside of like the overwhelming Protestantism of American society. I should get a shirt that says that. Really fucking weird, which is why I find it so interesting that they're like so rarely played for that kind of horror. Like the last time I could think of a prayer circle scene in a movie was, have any of you seen Dope?
It's been on my list. That's the one with Kiersey Clemens, Shami?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
There's a sequence where she's being put in a prayer circle to like chase her gay out. She just spends the entire time ogling the women in the circle.
Yep.
Honestly, good for her.
But yeah, based of her, we have no choice but to stand. But it's just like, I think it's so weird that like we are kind of afraid to play that kind of stuff, as alarming as I feel like it would be, especially when it's like sprung on you out of nowhere. I also have in my notes that the mom was like, "You still doing that devil's work?" And at this point, we hadn't heard that she was like ever a sex worker. So it was like working at a bar, doing like morgue attendant work. Like, what are you fucking talking about, lady?
I mean, she probably does see the bar work as it because
Mm-hmm.
I know she has her issues with alcohol, so she probably sees it as alcohol being the devil.
As Kai put it, Turquoise lives in booty shorts most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Texas.
But
it's hot.
Yes. I've lived in Texas. I know that misery. I lived in Houston, not Fort Worth, but still. And I wrote initially in my notes that I liked that they didn't get super specific about it. And then at the very end, it's Miss Juneteenth 2019. Turquoise was Miss Juneteenth 2004. Kai is 14, just turned 15.
Yeah, and I had figured it had to have been very soon after she had won for it to really crash her life down like that, and lo and behold.
Fuck that snotty little bitch at check-in so hard. I hated that woman.
Yeah, so many catty bitches in this movie.
Catty and colorist, and like, this is me talking as somebody who grew up in a very waspy part of Massachusetts. Stuff like learning to eat properly, like, you can absolutely see the colorism and the assimilation leaking through, and I'm like, this
and the
is
respectability
one
politics.
Jordan Peele away from being a horror movie.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, especially with Kai, she wants to like join the dance drill team, and like, well, with pageantry and like and dance, like more pageantry is seen as more respectable. Well, dance itself is legitimate, but it's not always like treated with respect.
It's kind of just automatically assumed to be her acting quote unquote too grown for her own good.
Yeah.
Which is something that does happen. Fortunately, I didn't get a whole lot of that growing up because I was pretty too sheltered for that, but you hear about it with Black families, unfortunately. And even the way Turquoise would constantly correct Kai when she was speaking more in an AAVE sort of thing. My father has definitely done that, so...
I was expecting it to go more into like a lot of I feel like because it's more Turquoise's story than Kai, they don't really go into it, but I was sitting there waiting for it to like talk about colorism or engage with how they're like foisting European beauty standards.
No, but you do sort of get that in like the dining etiquette scene where how it's all laid out, like almost everyone except Kai has their hair relaxed, they're all dressed up prim and proper, and Kai is the one really struggling to fit that mold because she can't tell what her dinner fork, her salad fork is, or what her wine glass is, and she's being singled out in that scene, and it's just, oh.
Well, that's sort of like what I was going with that. I was interested. I was expecting more stuff like that. That actually, what struck me about that scene is they're talking about how this is to prepare you for the future, but it's like this ultra strict, no one eats food like that anymore. I lived in New Canaan, Connecticut growing up, which for those of you who don't know is one of the richest towns on the eastern seaboard, and even as early as 2006, no one is eating foods like that, even at fancy events. Like, this is pretending you're preparing us for the future while you're preparing us for the past.
Mm-hmm.
I expected them to go more into that, but like a lot of this stuff kind of just sort of lingers around the margins. Again, I think because it is Turquoise's story more than Kai's.
Mm-hmm. But I also think leans more into the classism of it all because
Yep.
Well, yeah, because Turquoise, when she won the pageant, she was wearing a thrift store dress, and like she doesn't want Kai to like be in a thrift store dress because she doesn't want Kai to feel any less than the other girls, which does imply like there is a significant like gap in income.
Which, yeah, it seems pretty clear on that. Because let's face it, pageants are expensive. It costs her $400 to register her.
And the dress costs $800.
Mm-hmm. Well, the initial dress did.
I actually nearly got suckered into pageant stuff when I was like 17. There was this thing called National American Miss that tried to pull me in. And once we realized how much money we would have to spend on it, we were like, okay, maybe not. But like, there was a little bit of me that was kind of siding with Ronnie, like, what the fuck do you need an $800 dress for that you're never going to wear again outside of this one specific context? Like, I still feel weird about the fact that I spent $50 on the dress that came from clearance on a Zazie for my cousin's wedding and then spent another $100 getting it altered to fit my body exactly.
Yeah, no, that's like the only time Ronnie was right in this movie.
So would you say that you learned the truth at 17 that love was meant for beauty queens?
Oof.
Sorry. Yeah, I was kind of expecting more leaning into the ways in which beauty standards can sort of replicate in miniature racial standards, you know, taking the racial standards that are being forced upon you and then reapplying them internally. But it's more, you're right, it is more about class, which is kind of like the tragedy of Turquoise. She wants to be one of those insane pageant moms where her daughter relives her glory, but she can't even fucking afford to do that.
Yeah, and she literally like had like didn't pay the electricity bill, and like they're sitting in the dark on like Kai's birthday.
And also, I think Kai looks better in the yellow dress than she did in the fancy
She
blue one.
does.
It suits her better.
Yeah.
She's also visibly uncomfortable in the blue dress.
So restrictive, that dress. It's like big and poofy. There's too much sequins. Like it's not a dress for dancing.
It was very weird. There were like two forms of dresses. There were girls who were in like, what immediately came to mind was, I was thinking, those are quinceañera dresses more than like anything else.
Let's face it, quinceañera dresses, pageant dresses, prom dresses, very similar categories.
And there were probably Afro-Latin girls there, so.
Right,
Well,
but
certainly.
like there were the big poofy ones, but then there were the more streamlined ones that looked more like what I remember 2019 fashions being. Like, I kind of feel like big and poofy is on its way out and has been for a hot minute.
Or maybe it's just been like a version of being bougie, because like probably the bigger the better.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't fashionable when I was 15. I'm definitely not now.
And even if you were, you wouldn't have been allowed to be fashionable in this particular way, unfortunately.
Yay.
I mostly lived in my school uniform at 15.
I was one of those guys who wore baggy shirt pants and a t-shirt, who generally grow up to be a lot happier women.
Aww.
Aww.
I get it.
I mean, like, I'm not going to say in any way that, like, my high school experience is even lightly relevant to Kai skipping over the whole, she's a cisgender black girl, I was a trans egg white guy. You know, I graduated high school in 2008 when the first iPhones were just like a year away. Most of my friends, even in rich New Canaan, didn't have cell phones until my, like, junior year. Shit has altered so much since 2010 in terms of high school experiences. So basically what I'm saying is that we should be glad that the subplot in this, for Kai in this movie, wasn't Euphoria.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, but I think Ronnie was living some Euphoria shit. Like, what the fuck do you mean you went hunting on a nature preserve and shot a gator?
That is some Florida man stuff there.
I don't think Ronnie is living Euphoria. I think Ronnie is out there, like, in a prestige crime drama, where he's having all...
He's not the love of your life. He's literally just a guy. Hit him with your funeral car.
Hit him with Bacon's hearse.
Yes.
Hit him with Bacon's hearse, but also, like, look, Bacon seems like a nice guy. You can't be hitting on your employee like that, man. Like,
That's
you
only
just,
one thing, yeah.
you
That's
just,
only one thing, yeah.
you just can't.
Which is
I'm sorry.
Which is a shame because he is fine as hell, unfortunately.
He does wear the hell of a cowboy hat.
Very few people could do that.
I choose to give Turquoise the grace to be messy, and, like,
Yes.
I thought they were very cute, and I did appreciate that Bacon was like, look, I'm really into you, but if you're not gonna reciprocate that, then let's just stop, like, dancing around that. So I appreciate that boundary setting, and
Yeah.
it gave Turquoise the momentum to be like, I need to fall in love with me, although not in any terms quite that twee.
It's more, I just want something that's mine. And maybe that's
Yeah.
probably the catalyst for her, like, eventually taking over Wayman's bar.
Yes.
I mean, given that we were introduced to her cleaning a toilet in that bar, it does feel like that's the right thing. It also prompted me to write in my notes, if Nicole Beharie had been Jupiter Jones, I would have liked Jupiter Ascending more.
Wait,
Ooh.
my third eye is wide open. Wayman's Bar is about generational trauma. There's a character named Wayman.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're saying is we need to get Turquoise to go through 1,000 different realities of herself, and also Kai has to come out as gay. Okay.
I
Doing
mean,
a
she
sequel.
does have a
No.
little, like, baby gay energy when she was watching those dancing girls.
And she was
Baby
literally
bi.
spending some time in a closet.
No, we're just doing the remake of Everything Everywhere All at Once now. Come on, let's go.
It can't be a remake, this came first!
Well, the sequel will be a remake. We're doing a sequel.
Actually, they're doing a TV show. Or they
They do?
were.
Huh.
Ooh.
In 2021, NBC signed a first look deal to develop a television adaptation.
I suspect if they signed it in 2021 and there's been no movement, that's like
It's dead in the water.
Yeah.
many such cases.
I can dream, Harold!
Who's Harold? Is he the one who thinks that he didn't know that Carol and Therese were lesbians?
Ask River. River's the one who put that in our brains.
River! Oh wait, River's in Canada.
No, River's in my walls. We've discussed this.
River's down the street from me.
I want to give a little more attention to Alex Chickasey as Kai.
This is her only role, and I'm very sad about it unless she
Yeah.
has chosen to step away from acting on her own. Wherever you are, Miss Chickasey, I hope you're doing well.
Apparently she actually does have, like, some TV roles at least. She was in All-American on the CW for all that's worth.
Okay, so this is her only movie role, I should say.
Mhm.
Yeah, and, I mean, we know how the movies go, unfortunately. But, well, she seems to be baby, so I can absolutely picture that, like, she was told she has to finish college or whatever first.
And
I
again,
don't know.
it's good if she decided to focus on that instead. On her
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's very young in this. I don't know if she's actually playing her age, but the simple fact is that Hollywood's real rough to be a teenager in.
Especially a black teenager.
Mm-hmm. Her hair is amazing, and it hurt me every time that they straightened it or relaxed it.
Mm-hmm. Which is why it was so nice when I saw her spraying her hair. I'm like, oh, I know
Yes,
what you're doing,
because
honey.
that, even though it's a little unrealistic that her hair is immediately dry just when she's performing, it's like
Yeah.
she still would. Yeah, her hair still would have been wet.
Also, for what it's worth, she is 24 now. So in 2020, she would have been 18. So chances are she was like 16, 17 when they were filming.
Yeah, and apparently she bounced through a couple of different schools, including Howard and Clark Atlanta, and then USC. So, like, you know what? Good for you, Alexis Chickasey. You follow your destiny.
Yeah, because this was just a very poignant portrait of a very complicated mother-daughter relationship, and I live for that shit. And
Mhm.
I really live for how much time we spend with the family drama, as well as the community that's surrounding them.
Oh yeah, especially that scene in at Wayman's where everyone is like coming together to raise money for Wayman's hospital bills.
Yeah, because Wayman gets a heart attack in the middle of the film. That is her boss at the bar, because, again, single mom who works 2 jobs. She works in the bar and in the morgue.
And shout out to Betty Ray, who also, like, I think Betty Ray also works at the bar. I
She
love
does.
Betty Ray. She has great energy.
Love her hair.
Yeah.
As I said, I kind of feel like I'm most interested in the movie when it is about Turquoise, which means that most of the movie does work for me. But I feel like I wanted more out of the pageant scenes. That's sort of my review in a nutshell.
We mostly just see how like Kai is reacting to stuff in the pageant, and we do have that scene at the Juneteenth Museum where she is looking at, she's surrounded by all the pictures of the past Miss Juneteenth winners, and then we see her looking at a portrait of Turquoise in her pageant dress. And I don't know.
I mean, this is pointedly right after the woman who's kind of running things talks about, look at all these successful women who have won this pageant, and pretty noticeably does not mention Turquoise, because Turquoise kind of refutes the idea that winning this pageant is a ticket to a bright future.
Yeah, I mean, we do have that little moment with Kai telling Turquoise not to worry about the other women at the sign-up. It shows that perception of, like, oh, it's a shame that Miss Juneteenth ended up this way, still really affects Turquoise. Like, comparison's always gonna hurt, especially, like, you know, you always have the aunties that brag about their kids and that's how you're doing. It's like, you can never measure up.
And, you know, it's tough when you peak so young and then everything goes downhill. I mean, we see that in pageant circles, we see this in academia.
It's really giving, like, burnt out gifted kid energy.
What actually kind of struck me about that scene, and this is another thing that I kept waiting for the movie to, like, follow up on to make a more systemic critique, is, like, they're talking about what all these women have accomplished in their lives. I'm like, oh, you're like a mid-range oral surgeon? Your husband is a politician? Like, what? These are not, like, I don't want to say these are bad accomplishments. These are good accomplishments, but they're not, like, things that I feel like the movie is trying to bring attention to the fact that, like, this kind of thing doesn't actually go very far in terms of making anything change. It's like it's not even like a Band-Aid. It's like a Hunger Games.
It's more like a show pony effect, because especially for Black women, there are very, like, few opportunities, like, very few instances where they get to rise to, like, a certain point. Like, it is that age-old adage. They have to work 10 times as hard just to get half of what anyone else has.
As much as we side-eye Chris Rock, there is a pretty solid bit where he's talking about, like, all these super famous and successful Black people who live on this one street, and the one white dude on the street is just a dentist. Like, when you're a white dude, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. When you're Black, the limit's the sky, I think is what he said.
Right, that's sort of what I was saying. Like, I was expecting more of a systemic critique of, like, how these sort of things aren't really, like, doing much for anything. But again, like, I don't know if that's what the movie's very interested in, but it felt like they were teeing that up.
No, but I think the movie did bring it up. When Wayman has that line of, ain't no American dream for Black folks, and we gotta hold on to what we got. Like, Miss Juneteenth is, in large ways, trying to perpetuate the lie of the American dream, and, like, talk about it as kind of a bootstrap narrative where you pull yourself up by being pretty in the picture of Black excellence and such, and you go on to become a doctor or a professor or a congressman's wife.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something more concrete in, I own this bar and I'm not gonna fucking sell it to white people. I'm gonna take this deal with Turquoise instead.
I am also not gonna take out a loan from white people either, because he has a reaction when he learns that Bacon, like, borrowed from got a loan from white people to pay for the new funeral parlor.
Yep. And the thing is, I think part of why they don't really go spelling it out for the audience is because I don't think this is a movie that's actually that interested in going full message, least of all at white audiences, because that's something that white audiences would expect from this movie, I think.
I mean, this isn't a teachable moment, because I think the director, she directly got the inspiration from this from, like I said before, the Miss Juneteenth is a real contest in Texas. The director, like Channing Godfrey Peoples, she would attend pageants while she was growing up in Fort Worth, and these pageants made a lasting impression from it at a young age. There is a Sundance article where she says, quotes, I saw beautiful young African American women on stage that looked like me. I saw them in their beauty and their intelligence and their talent. And what struck me the most was that they were hopeful. And I always wondered what happened to these women. And that's what inspires Turquoise's story.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like this is aimed towards a mostly Black audience, and you don't have to tell Black audiences that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think on some
inherent.
level, a lot of them already know.
I guess my point was that like I felt like it set up a very kind of specific critique of how the model minority works in context with a beauty pageant, and I felt like that didn't really get resolved. I don't know. I guess this is part of my only real issue with the movie, which is that I felt like the actual pageant felt kind of less baked than the stuff about turquoise. You know, maybe I would have liked it better if the pageant was entirely off screen.
Oh, but then we wouldn't have had Kai, like, taking the Phenomenal Woman poem reading that Turquoise was pushing on her and making it her own by turning it into a dance routine. Which
Mhm.
I
Because isn't that
knew
what
it was
Legacy
coming
is
and I still
about?
cheered.
Yeah, isn't that what Legacy is about? Like taking something that your mother passed down to you and making it your own.
It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see.
Sam, no, you managed to not roll that up.
Sorry. I actually do want to mention something else about the pageant because it is very interesting to me that the girl who goes right before Kai is doing the speech that was given by Sojourner Truth at the Women's Convention in Akron, Ohio.
That was pretty
in
great.
1851.
Ain't I a woman, yeah.
But the thing is, what was interesting to me is that they were using the Flanderized text. There are two versions of this text, and the version that is more popular and is known as Ain't I a Woman is generally accepted now to have been like heavily revised by a different writer, by Frances Dana Barker Gage, and made it like all southern and folksy and cringy.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too, which, oof.
I want to take this moment to shout out the Sojourner Truth Project run by Leslie Powell, which includes recordings of the speech as transcribed by Reverend Marius Robinson, spoken by Afro-Dutch women in an attempt to recreate what Sojourner Truth would have sounded like. The recording that I'm using is Dr. Gloria Wecker, Professor Emeritus of Gender Studies at Utrecht University in the Netherlands.
May I say a few words? I want to say a few words about this matter. I am a woman's rights. I have as much muscle as any man and can do as much work as any man. I've plowed and reaped and husked and chopped and mowed. And can any man do more than that?
So it was interesting to me that that was the version that this other girl was speaking in the pageant. And I think that that was also representative of kind of like, even as Juneteenth is a crucial part of history, we do kind of see that it's not immune to mythologizing and commercializing and Flanderization.
I mean, they do also do the same thing with Phenomenal Woman because, well, okay, so some context for Phenomenal Woman. It's a poem about a black woman coming to love and appreciate herself, who's able to push past the beauty standards and expectations that are stacked against her in order to stand tall. Like, even though, like, Maya Angelou was 50 when she wrote this, there have been generations of black women that have tried to get their teenage daughters and nieces, sisters, and cousins to, like, utter the words with a resolve of a full-grown, self-actualized woman. They go, "It's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the right of my breast, the grace of my style." It's supposed to be a guide and inoculation against self-doubt. But at the same time, like, Maya Angelou's words are steeped in her experience as, like, a survivor of childhood sexual assault, an artist, and a former sex worker. So I think they also forget those parts. They only remember, like, Maya as Dr. Angelou.
I mean, given what Channing Godfrey Peoples does with the bits and pieces of what we find out happened to Turquoise, I mean, I think that was at least partially intentional.
Mm-hmm. Like, Maya Angelou has become more of an icon than a human being that she was.
I mean, isn't that just sort of like how beauty pageants kind of like what they kind of do to people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like the actual I'm interested in the pageant as a tonal moment. I feel like the other contestants are just a little bit too goofy, if that makes sense, for how serious the rest of the movie is.
Yeah, there was that one contestant who was like doing like a ventriloquist act.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man.
That was kind of cute.
It was cute, but the movie's not this kind of cute. It's not this variety of cute.
Honestly, no, listen, we need to support puppeteers, okay?
Puppets!
Look, we do not have to support ventriloquist dummies. I have seen the documentary series Goosebumps, and I know those things will kill you.
No, but the ventriloquist dummy she was holding actually looked more like a Muppet, so...
It did look a little uncomfortably, like, I don't know if anyone besides me is going to get this reference. It did look uncomfortably like Job's puppet from Arrested Development. Did anyone
I have never watched that show.
I've seen a little bit of it. I get
Franklin?
what you're saying, but...
The joke of Franklin is that Job has a puppet that he uses, who is... The puppet is black, and so he says things he shouldn't and gets the shit beaten out of him.
Oh, no.
So it's a whole you can't
God.
say that white baby thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same bullshit that they did in Victorious?
I wouldn't know.
I don't like how I know all this.
Our varying frames of references are fascinating.
I'm trying to remember what Victorious is. Is Ariana Grande involved?
Yes, that was
and
her
she-
big break, besides 13.
She plays the
musical.
airheaded redhead who says really out-of-pocket weird shit about,
What are
like, her
you
brother
into?
abusing her.
What? What?
Yeah.
You know what? No, I don't want to fuck. I don't want to know anything about the extended Nickelodeon live-action kids sitcom thing. I don't need to know. My
Smart,
life
wish
is
that were
better
me.
without knowing it.
Yeah,
Without knowing.
I would be happy not knowing, but unfortunately I've been approximate knowledge a long time ago. It's too late for me.
I have no knowledge of this, and I'm going to keep it that way. If you attempt to tell me, I will leave the call.
Ariana Grande was obviously created solely to play Glinda. It's okay, Ellie.
She exists only to play Glinda, and occasionally, whenever those songs, she has a song that I like. No, just the running joke is that Job is a dumb piece of shit. But it just looked uncomfortably like Franklin. I'm going to post it in the Discord channel so you can see why I say that. Continue.
But anyway, we have not spent nearly enough time in this episode hating on Kai's father, Ronnie.
Oh, God.
Oh, I
This
know a
man-
thing about unreliable fathers, but Ronnie takes the
honey.
cake.
No, for sure. And like, listen, this is the kind of man who is basically behaving like he is not part of a unit. He wants to be in their lives, apparently, but is still basically making decisions without discussing it as a family. This man's acting like he's single, even though he's trying to get back with his baby mama. It's just very
They're technically
annoying.
still married.
Yeah,
They're just
technically.
separated, I think.
And he's just like, oh, I hustled hard for these rings.
Fuck the American carceral system, but, like,
Sure.
Yeah.
a tiny visceral part of me was like, you should have left him there.
You should-
Things got worse when she didn't, unfortunately. But, and also, like, yeah, like, as much as I was just like, yeah, no, it's ridiculous that they are treating him like a hardened criminal for supposedly shooting a gator in self-defense, everything else he does in the movie is just like, wow, like, you don't deserve jail, but you kind of suck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Pay your goddamn child support and get the fuck out.
Pay your goddamn child support. Also, Turquoise, bestie, I know that you have some complicated emotions here. Actually, that's actually one of the plot points I really like. I think that plot really works. Her complicated emotions around him. But also, like, you need money. You could hawk the ring.
She does end up
And then
talking the
she
ring.
does.
I thought you went to a payday loan place.
No,
She did both.
Oh.
She went to the
Yeah, by
payday
the-
loan place to get him out of there, but then at the very end, when she's basically, it's concretely just her and Kai, and it's like the night before the pageant, she goes and sells the rings at a pawn shop.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't catch. It's 100% possible that was when Zandy walked in the room. Was like, this seems more serious than I want to watch, and walked away.
Yeah, it is serious. It's definitely not the kind of thing you're gonna want to use to wind down after a long day, because it does do emotions.
Uh-huh.
I need you all to know that when I said Zandy walks in the room, he walked in the room.
What do you need?
I don't need anything.
Okay.
Hi, Zandy.
Hi, Zandy.
Hi, Zandy.
Anyway,
Oh, shit, Ronnie was on the Vampire Diaries?
Apparently.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh my god, I think I know who he was, too.
Jesse.
Let me confirm.
He was Jesse.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar, son of a bitch.
There is a lot, I don't know, between bacon and cornbread, there are some weird parallels with Sinners here.
Would this movie have been improved if some vampires had showed up? Yes,
Most
because
movies
that
can
improves
be, if
all
you ask me.
that improves all movies.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Nicole Beharie getting to be in a Ryan Coogler movie.
Yeah, I would be all for
worked
that.
well with Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P.
I didn't know the director of this worked on Queen Sugar.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was like a little like subplot there of like where the main character Charlie, she was going from like straightened hair, her hair all straightened, and then she eventually like lets her natural hair down. Like the thing about hair in this film, like you see how Turquoise has her hair straightened and when she's Miss Juneteenth, like, you know, society is especially harsh on Black women wearing their hair natural. It goes all the way back to the Tignan laws. Even though I'm Canadian, I still know about the Tignan laws. Don't ask me how I know.
Cultural imperialism.
And then I saw the current Miss Juneteenth with her hair straightened too. And then I said, oh, this is going to be a recurring thing. And then are they going to do a subversion and let Kai have a natural hairstyle at the pageant? And then turns out we were right. She changes it at the last minute because she can't like stand seeing herself in the reflection. She like literally takes off her headband that's supposed to help like keep her hair straight and smooth, and then she takes a water bottle to it. Like, even like there is this really great quote with Channing Godfrey Peoples which says like, hair has always played an important part in Black communities, and the movie highlights the insecurities Black women have in particular where faced about wearing their hair natural and the hair rituals that are well-known staples in many Black households. As a storyteller and an African-American woman, she really thought it was important for Turquoise and Kai to be in their natural hair and to have more folks be open and have a sense of pride in embracing their natural hair.
I mean, it definitely worked, because, like, the dance scene's really great.
Yeah, no, it's very... Like, again, I saw it coming and I was still cheering because you get so emotionally invested in Kai's arc and Turquoise's arc, and a part of you is just like, please, Turquoise, don't be mean about it. Please don't be mean about it, especially when she loses. And arguably one of the best parts of the movie, fortunately,
she got it.
Yeah, Turquoise finally had her character arc. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Achievement unlocked. Generational trauma cycle broken.
Yep. It's like, all this time I've been trying to make you Miss Juneteenth when you were always Miss Kai Marie Jones, queen of it all.
Oh, and then we get that little scene at the end. They're like sitting out in front of Wayman's bar in little lawn chairs, and these go and then
Kai's in her dress eating some ribs.
Yeah, and Turquoise turns to her and go, "Oh, so when are dance trials?"
Don't eat ribs in that dress. In fact, don't ever eat ribs in a clothing that you care about. This is my
Honestly,
advice.
A part of me like wanted her to drop a rib on the dress, and then both of them just laughed it off. But
yeah, no, I was under the impression that part of it was just like, no, this doesn't have to represent like us being super fancy anymore.
Yeah,
this is going to be a core memory for the both of them now. In part because she was...
And besides, I don't think she even ate all night, because it's implied that, like, this is, like, the morning after the pageant, so she's just eating. I've been training a lot for this, and I've had my moment of, okay, I made this like my own. Let's eat.
I'm just saying, I have designated t-shirts that I won't eat my ribs in just because, like, I like them as t-shirts.
No, I get you. I get what you mean, but I also get what that represents. It's like they are letting it go. It's okay. Let's move on now. And now Turquoise is part owner of the bar. They are reaching over to their own bright future, and the hell with the pageant.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I know Ronnie from. He was in I'm a Virgo. Go watch everything Boots Riley makes, everyone. Go do that immediately.
I'm on my way. I've seen 2 already this summer.
Faster.
Any final thoughts?
Support your local Black-owned business, and everything, whether it's your dreams or your path in life, is always changing. It's not perfect. It may not be what you had in mind, but it's yours. So as cliche as it is, make it your own. Phenomenally.
Yeah. And this goes for my fellow white people too. I saw that one white person sitting behind turquoise at the pageant. Show up. But if they ask you to leave, also adhere to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Any parents out there listening, please try to remember your child is their own person. And you'd be amazed of how much better your relationship will be if you say sorry to them once in a while.
Down with beauty pageants.
That too.
Yeah, that too. They're evil.
Someday my podcast will cover Little Miss Sunshine, and Ellie has thoughts on beauty pageants, but she's not going to share them here.
Yeah, fucking pedophile bait.
So, we have those final thoughts, and now that means it's time to ask, is the Force with it?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I want to be clear, I've been a little critical of this movie because, like, it's one of those movies that's like, yeah, it's really good. It's not quite great. I'm saying all the ways I wish I could make it, like, a real masterpiece, but it's really good. It's really good.
It's good, but you're
it.
waiting for it to be great. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's pretty great, so I'm gonna make it unanimous, say Force is with it. All of the jokes I have about the dark side, I don't think I have enough melanin to make, so let's move into pluggables.
No, I'm not making those jokes.
I am not making this joke either, and I actually have brown skin.
I am Afro-Dominican, and I'm still not doing it.
If I'm at the cookout, it's only because B invited me.
Yep.
Aww. I mean, if we were to do one, we actually really don't do ones anymore because we don't have a grill, but hypothetically, yes, I would.
Who has pluggables?
As indicated by me talking about whether or not this or that movie is eligible for my podcast, I too have a podcast. It's the Biggest Night in Podcasting, where we talk about Oscar-winning films. We can be found on both YouTube and Spotify. We just released what I think is a very funny episode about Bohemian Rhapsody. We've got some really good stuff upcoming for you. You can also find me on Bluesky, Medium, and Letterboxd at LSR42, and on Tumblr at Football in Tuxedos.
I am the host of In Each Retelling, the podcast where we explore all the ways old tales are made new. And speaking of Nicole Beharie, Sleepy Halloween will come one day.
Oh.
You can find us at the podcatcher of your choice, and you can find me at Faye Riviera on all the socials. And I second the support your local Black-owned businesses.
You can find me on the online muse on Tumblr. I make all the graphics for this podcast and for our sister podcast, In Each Retelling. If you like my work and want to commission me, come hit me up.
And in the spirit of Star Wars, to be there for the people who need us, this episode is spotlighting Black Connect, a national nonprofit dedicated to eliminating the racial wealth gap in the United States, providing legal services, pro bono financing, and networking resources for Black-owned businesses. The link can be found in the description, as well as on my various socials at Demisem. Our theme music is provided by Refractory Period, the two girls, one beat, synth pop sensation. You can follow them on Instagram at Refractory Period, the band. To further support this podcast, please subscribe to us on your platform of choice, leave reviews, and share with your friends to boost our visibility, and consider joining Patreon. And now, it's time to turn to the Chance Cube to see where our journey takes us next. Ellie, I have news for you. Congratulations. As of this episode, you now join Jazz in obtaining the rank of Master.
Hey!
Woo!
But you are not yet a member of the council.
God damn it. But I thought you could get on the council if you weren't on the rank of Master.
Different council, Ellie!
Anakin, sit the fuck down!
It's complicated.
Do I have to be stupping Natalie Portman to do it? Because I'll do it.
I'll make that grand sacrifice, I know.
You don't want me to answer that. But this means that both Jazz and Ellie, I put this to you. Once I have rolled up our degree, would you like to override my standing list and pick the movie of your choice that fits that degree?
Not as of yet.
I don't have a list in front of me, so no.
Well then, let's do this.
That's a 6.
6? Oh, you're in trouble.
A 6. Guys, what's Rope from 1948?
Ooh! In the public domain! So it's also eligible for Jazz's pod.
Congratulations, Sam. You're about to watch your first Hitchcock.
Oh, cool. I thought that was going to be scarier. But, alright. We will see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, stay beautiful, and may the Force be with you. Fuck the 4th of July. Happy belated Juneteenth.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.